Hey, hello all. We will see the practical number 5 of the computer network. That is to write a program to find the class and type of the given IP address. So we move towards first the introductory part or the basic theory behind the IP classes, why IP is needed, what is the purpose, and its classes of IP and types of IP. And then we move towards the practical exercise. So first is that what is been my IP address or why it is needed. Uh, to identify the particular machine or the host in the computer networks, it is identified by their IP address. And IP address is a 32-bit address and it is the unique in the network. So if there are 32-bit IP address in the IPv4, we are talking about only IPv4. So there are 2 raised to 32 host we can accommodate, or we can say that 2 raised to 32 machines having we will provide the unique IP address. So let's say this is the structure of IP, or it can be represented as a 4 dotted decimal number in the binary and its binary equivalent to in the decimal form that is given here. So this is uh, 8 bit, 8 bit, 8 bit, 8 bit. It becomes 32 bits and it is represented in the form of decimal that is called as a 4 dotted decimal number. Now, the IP address having four types of IP and classes of IP. These are the two different things. So types of IP address are that private IP address, public, static, and dynamic IP address. Now we see what is meant by private IP address and who will assign that private IP address. So the INA, that is Internet Assigned Numbers Authority, have reserved the some IP address from the each class, and they can use for the organization or any enterprise for their internal network. That is called as a local network. So therefore, these IPs are termed as a private IP address. So this is first IP belongs to class A, class B, class C. So we'll see what are the classes of IP. So this same IP from the last slide you can see. So class A having this IP, class B is ranging from 172.16 to 31. Means there are we can create a 16 blocks in the class B IP and class C IP having 256 blocks are there. So the next part type of IP is that public IP address. So public IP address is provided by the your internet service provider, that is the ISP, and this is accessed through your organization's router is located, and that router having a public IP address. Through that router, your internal network to be accessed uh, through the world. So public IP address are commonly used to access enterprises such as websites and DNS, like the DNS of Google, so and so on. So when we want to go online, you must have a public IP address. But every organization take one public IP address and then they are creating their internal private network. So through which they are connecting. For example, this is the 17.5.7.3 is an example of public IP address because it is not reserved in the private IP address. So public IP address means the IP is reserved in the private IP. Excluding that IP, so all becomes the public IP address. Now, so static IP address, that is third type of IP address. So static, its name is that it cannot be changed once your device having assigned some IP. So we can use or continue with that IP. So therefore, that is called as a static IP address. And this is used for the server purpose or any website that DNS name. That website is stored on somewhere of the in the world. The server is there. So that server IP is static, means it is once configured through which that server, that website, or any software is accessed remote. So therefore, the Google having this DNS, DNS stands for domain name system. So that is uh, identified by the user in high level language because it's not possible to remember the IP address. So instead of that, we people are remember that particular server or that service through the DNS. So this is the 8.8.8. It is the Google IP address and it's an public IP address. Now last type is that dynamic IP address. The address assigned by the protocol that is called as a DHCP. It is dynamic host configuration protocol. So means that when we want to connect to any place using their own network, so we just need to plug the LAN cable. So automatically it will take the IP address. So that is called as a dynamic host configuration protocol. Means we no need to set the IP manually. Once you just plug the cable to your laptop or computer, it automatically sets the IP and we can use the internet of that location for that place. Now we move towards the here. This is the diagrammatical view of uh, the types of IP. So here, local or that is called as a private IP address. So we can use then public IP address means we want to connect to your external world. There is a router. That router having a public IP address that is assigned by the internet service provider. And this is our internal network. So here we can use the private IPs. But these machines can be connected to the external world through this public IP. And there is a NAT called as a network address translation through which that private to public mapping and we can access the uh, uh, internet. So this then second next thing is that static IP. So permanent IP address is there. So we once set it, we can use it. And dynamic, it is occasionally changing means it goes and change automatically. So now we see the IP addresses, formats and ranges. So as we know that there is a 32 bits IP long. So these are the classes, class A, class B, class C, class D and class E. Now in a class A, out of 32 bits, first 8 bit is of network ID and remaining 24 bits is of host ID. And out of these 8 bits, first bit from the MSB, the most significant bit, is 0. It is reserved to indicate the class. So when all are 0, so this 8-bit decimal value is 0. But if we make all are 1, so then it becomes out of these 8 bits, only 7 bits are 111. So then its value is that 127. So the remaining 24 bits, so that are partitioned into 8 bit, 8 bit and 8 bit. If all are making 8 bits 1, then 1, 1, then 1, 1. So we will get this decimal value, 255, 255. Yes. So this is the range of IPs in the class A. So out of this 32 bit, 8 bit for networked portion and remaining 24 bit for the host portion. Out of this 8 bit, 1 bit that is from MSB is reserved as a 0. So rest of the 7 bits are 00. So entire decimal value is 0. But we are not mentioning here it as a 0 because this is used for unicast. So therefore it is from 1.000. So all are making 00. Then all are making 1111. So we'll get this decimal value. So means how much host can be accommodated in the class A? So simple. This is the for 24-bit space for the host. So 2 raised to 24. So that much of host we can accommodate in one network of class A. So how many networks we can create for class A? That is 2 raised to 7 networks we can create. And each network having 2 raised to 24 I, uh, uh, host machines can be allocated. Yes. And then similar way for class B, this is a 16-bit for network ID, 16-bit for host ID. And out of this 16-bit, 2 bits from MSB, that is reserved 1 and 0. So now we can make this 14 bits as 00, we will get 120. And all these host bits are 00, we will get the 000. And if all are making, we will get this range. So in this way, these range are decided. So this class A, class B, class C, having these bits, MSB bit, 3 bits are reserved. And having 8 bit of host portion, means 2 raised to 8 host we can accommodate. But here we can create more number of networks are there. We can create 2 raised to, these 3 bits are reserved, then 2 raised to, out of this 24, we have 21 bits are left. So therefore 2 raised to 21 networks ID we can create. Now this is, we are not using class D and class E address. Class E is reserved for feature we are not using, and this class D also we are not using. This is for multicast, means when one machines want to send the data for at a time more than one machine, multiple machines. So that is multicast address. So same phenomenon here I have explained already. First byte, second byte, third byte, and finding the class in decimal notations means if we provided the decimal IP address, and if it is ranging from 0 to 127, that is first byte. According to first byte, we can find out the IP belongs to which class. So that's the range here. So they, I have already explained that byte 1 is net ID for class A, 2 bytes of network ID, and 2 bytes of host ID in class B. Yes. So this is the theoretical things. Now we will implement. So I have taken here code. I'm using the C programming, but we can use any other programming language to find the IP address and its class. So just in C programming, first 2 header files. Now I use the functions, that is extract IP address. So for that, we have taken a for loop. So means initially we will provide the IP address in this format. It is dotted decimal format. And as I have explained that from this first octets or that first string, we will just classify whether that IP belongs to class A, class B, or class C. So for that purpose, the string, whatever may be the input given by us, it is termed as a string. And that from string, we will in the form of array, that is IP address of 0, that is octet 0. Here it is octet 0, octet 1, and then that is mapped with your array. So this is the function only. That function will perform the task to classify the IP address. And as you are very familiar with the C programming, you can use this code or any other language you can also followed to find the IP. Here just we are comparing. If IP address of 0 means first octet, yes, is greater than 0 and less than 21. So we will printing class A and so on for the rest of classes. So means we are only concentrating to the first octet. Yes. So this program is for only printing the class of IP. Now your job is that to find the type of IP, means whether it is belongs to the private IP or public IP. Only you have to classify. You just modify this program to make, also it will display the information like that. After entering this input, we will get the IP address, that is class B IP address. And one more thing you have to find out, that is the IP that belongs to the public IP type or private IP type. Yes. So hope you have understand in very well manner. Thank you.